You'd think the Falcons ending their 4-game losing streak on Monday Night Football to send Kirk Cousins to, wait for it, 5-1 in his last 6 Monday Night Football games after starting 0-9 in his career in that. You'd think that would end the conversation of who should be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, but then you'd watch the game, and it was unwatchable for the Falcons offense. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Bijan Robinson had another dominant game, 22 carries, 125 rush yards. The rushing game was working. The passing game, with the exception of that wide-open Drake London walk-in touchdown to give Cousins his first touchdown pass in 17 straight quarters. It gave him a 7-0 lead, and they were holding on for dear life against a Raiders team that was missing Max Crosby. He's done for the year. Starting Desmond Ridder, who the Falcons, as we all know, jettisoned for Cousins. I mean, Cousins loses in Minnesota to Sam Darnold's 5 touchdown passes, and then Cousins almost followed that up with a loss to Desmond Ridder. But they did come out with the win. What didn't happen, though, after Cousins went 11 for 17 for 112 passing yards, fewest pass attempts and passing yards for him and the Falcons this year. Didn't tamp down, though. Well, what about Michael Penix Jr.? Conversation that the Falcons knew when they drafted him would occur if there was a struggle. Didn't think it would still be going strong or strongest after a win in Week 15. But this is what the head coach had to say on that subject matter yesterday.
He's got to play better. And, obviously you got to go back, you got to be able to look at everything. But, he wants to play better. He's got to play better. We got to find a way to get him to play better. And obviously we'll get to work tomorrow, and that's a part of our process, right? You go, you look at the tape, you review it with the people that needs to be reviewed with. We get all the coordinators in the room. We'll talk with everybody. And we got to play better at the quarterback position.
So part B to that, if he can't, are you prepared to replace him with Michael Penix?
We got everybody on our roster for a reason, right? We got so much to get better at, and, those things will always be discussed. That's just the nature of the beast in football. It's just so heavily talked about it at the quarterback position because there's only one guy out there. So, for us, man, our mentality is to find a way to win the next game. That's just the mentality that we're going to have.
Cousins echoed the I know I've got to play better thing. I mean, the defense balled out. 3 takeaways and a safety. They balled out with two block punts and a blocked extra point.
That's crazy.
So the special teams is balling out, but the ball being dropped figuratively by this Falcons offense. I mean, Brock Bowers, who's catching everything under the sun, had only 3 catches for 35 yards. You should beat a team that was coming in on a 9-game losing streak handily, and they didn't.
Well, the run game was good.
That's what I'm saying. It's the passing game. Not to quote A.J. Brown, it's the passing game. And that is on the quarterback. Again, I just can't see turning to a rookie in Week 16 and say, okay, Rook, go for it. That's when you bench Kirk Cousins. Okay, Rook, go for it.
No, the time to do it was weeks ago.
I think the horse is out of the barn. You've got to keep up with Cousins, but I understand why the question is there, and I knew the questions would come. It's just now you're in a position where you just got to stick it out with the vet, who's, by the way, going back to D.C. in a couple weeks. You got the awful Giants coming in. You should rebound, but I get it. I totally get it. And in this day and age, I'm sure Penix hasn't gotten any snaps with the ones, hardly a lick of it. So you're just going to say, even I understand the Giants have been horrid lately. You can't just say your first career start now, we're benching Cousins due to ineffectiveness in Week 16. But if there's any spark that you can get from it, if you have seen something in practice that gives you the sense that he could handle this. Because, again, he's not like some 21-year-old. He's 24, and we also know what we've seen from Bo Nix, what we've seen from Jaden Daniels, 2 rookies this year, what we've seen from Stroud, what we've seen from Purdy, and I'm mentioning all of them together because you see what you see from young quarterbacks who've gotten a ton of snaps at the college level, how well they've played when you throw them in. I'm just wondering, in these meetings, do they even twitch in that direction? Because what we've seen over the last month and a half ain't it. And you're going to be circling the drain. Certainly with the Bucs playing the way that they are playing, they are surging, and the Falcons are struggling, and they should have won last night going away, and they barely came out with a dub. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.